The internet. Can you go one more time? Funny. Yeah. The internet is to your mind as the fucking Trojan horse was to Troy. Yeah, we're good. The internet is to your mind as the Trojan horse was to Troy. Think about that, right? Troy welcomed its doom with open gates. The mind does likewise with internet addiction. It's not your fault necessarily. The modern environment has been crafted by a corporate oligarchy to turn you into a functional addict that's willing to trade huge chunks of time and, more importantly, attention in exchange for comfort when you should be pursuing your dreams, right? They've had the biggest wallets and the smartest minds working on this for the last 20 years straight. And the most important point of all, they boiled the frog, right? And you're the frog in this story, unfortunately. Half the concept was introduced to you as an innocuous device that would assist you with communication, the mobile phone. Oh, it does maps and stuff. Great, right? The other half of the concept was introduced to you as a fun community that would assist you with connection. You'd be talking to your family all the time. Social media. But somewhere along the line, the mobile phone and social media, by the way of the internet, coalesced into, as far as I can tell, the most destructive human addiction on aggregate on planet Earth. This is a handheld device plugged into everything we've ever known with a perpetual battery capable of delivering humanity's knowledge into a frictionless feed tuned directly into your subconscious mind's fears and dreams via a rich blend of written videographic content, chock-a-block full of negatively geared conversation that stokes the flames of tribalism. How could that possibly go wrong, right? And so basically, we got all the communication with none of the connection. Not exactly none, right? You did get one connection. A connection where one end is plugged directly into your brainstem, plugged in deeper than the untrained conscious mind can reach, pressing all the lizard buttons in a desperate attempt to keep you addicted to that stream of dopamine, right? Unfortunately, the other end of that connection is plugged straight into Zuckerberg's fucking bank account, right? And that connection for a lot of people is the strongest connection they have to anything, right? There are many evolutionary flaws that make us sitting ducks for exploitation in this way. I'll cover a few of the main ones and the ones I find the most insidious, and join the group to find the rest, right? The human psyche is highly tuned for social approval. If the tribe didn't like you, you died. Simple as that. And social media has gamified your deep evolutionary desire to understand your place in the hierarchy, and in order to avoid being abandoned by your species. It keeps you hooked with a steady stream of negative chat and divisive conversation to extract maximum attention. And we didn't notice because we're frogs, right? You put a frog in a bowl of cold water and then you boil that water slowly, it'll stay in there till it dies, right? And so those promises of, it'll answer any question. You've got maps. But then you had a laptop, then you had your phone, then you had social media, and it just got better and better and better. And if you look at your screen time right now, which is probably the best way to articulate how good it's actually gotten, of the very limited and precious moments that you have on Earth, you're likely giving it 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 fucking hours a week is going directly into that phone. Comment that number. Fucking send it to me in a DM. I want to know that number, right? Because that's a great micro step to identify the problem. What is my screen time? Yeah. From there, we want to leverage what we call the 5-second, 2-minute rule. When something pops up into your head and it feels just right and it can be done in under 2 minutes, then there is no conversation, there's no negotiating. You make the decision to do it and you start with a micro action that takes 5 seconds, because by the time you start moving, you'll almost be done. So DM me now, leave a comment wherever you're seeing this video, tell me your screen time. That's the micro action. Yeah. You execute the task. And this is the building blocks of becoming an action taker. We want to move from consumption to creation. And generally, in my experience, where I see people living to their potential, they're creating, not consuming. Yeah. And so in this case, I want you to take action on that. It's going to take you under 2 minutes. It's probably going to take you 20 seconds. If you're a human on Earth with a whole bunch of screen time, that means you've got time. that means you have space to methodically reallocate that time to the desires of your higher self, the observer. While the lower self, right, the conserver, he's very noisy, him or her, so noisy in fact that it dominates much of our life and decision making. The mind must be like Troy, pre-horse, before the Trojan horse, right? 4 resilient walls that keep the weakness of the world out. Because in this modern world, you've got a bunch of technocratic barons that own this cloud infrastructure plugged directly into your brainstem. They are charging all of the businesses in the world rent to buy their product. What's their product? Our attention. Their product is the aggregate attention of the human race. Think about that for a second, right? Build a platform that harvests human attention by exploiting our base animal instincts to keep us on the screen time hamster wheel of pseudo contentment. Fucking banging line, that one. And then sell that attention to the businesses that are all owned by the same people that you're harvesting all the attention from. You also want to ensure that you control such a large portion of the attention that it's impossible not to engage with the platforms. So then you go and pull 50% of the revenue out of each transaction, whether you're a 2x ROAS or a 10x ROAS, depending on your business model, with a kind of feudal rent system disguised as a capitalistic ad auction. It's kind of brilliant when you think about it. It's disgusting, but it's brilliant. And to add insult to injury, most of them selectively curate the content on an as-where required basis to enable further profit and power. So the picture of reality you're getting in exchange for your attention isn't even sound. It's warped by institutional motives that are generally for profit and therefore against you. Because let me make this very clear. When you are the product and the customer, a for-profit motive is by definition an against you motive. And you're not treating this thing like a combatant, right? Part of the maladaptive strategy of internet addiction is it doesn't have immediate ultra negative feedback loops. The current moment is numbed and the price you pay for that isn't that high. When you compare it with alcoholism or a meth addiction, these addictions are so powerful they create too much friction to be effortlessly accepted into society as an agreed upon norm. But when you look back over a lifetime and you see that the hollowed out potential from the sheer quantum of life that was taken away from you, the fact that it didn't punch you in the face like the negative feedback loop of a drug addiction, that's part of the most insidious nature of your internet addiction. It's hollowing out your potential, it's killing you from the inside out, and you won't notice till it's too late. It's like a virus that's evolved not to kill its host. With less virility, it's tolerated and it's mass spread. Remember when that happened? It will be why so many people are aware they're in this guilt, pain, shame loop, but haven't done anything about it. The pain of the status quo isn't more than taking the immediate pain of taking small methodical action. It's hard for anyone to police because we're all in on it. Obviously, there are exceptions that prove the rule. Proud of you guys. Get in here. Help me get off my fucking device, right? And like, honestly, when you stop to think about it, what did we think was going to happen? The for-profit technocrat hyper corporates, Meta, TikTok, blah, blah, are doing exactly as their incentive structure would have them do. Corporates from the 1700s, the 1800s, the 1900s, the 2000s, they've done the same shit they've always done. For-profit motives destroys the product and the eventual purchaser of the product, right? Show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. Charlie Munger said that. It's very smart. And, you know, the incentive is not in our best interest. And so just like the people of Troy, we accepted this gracious gift of a handheld device that would make our lives better. And over time, just like the parable of the boiling frog, it's gotten better and better and better. It's too good. The ecosystem, the laptop, the TV in the bedroom, the wearables, the AirPods, there is a perpetual supply of dopamine cut up into short, bite-sized, punchy portions. You want it audio? You want it video? How do you want it? Right? And now what you have is what scientists describe as the ultimate pathology for a mammal, a mechanism for acquiring dopamine without suffering, a frictionless one that's always there and available with very little immediate negative feedback loop, and that society has completely normalized. It's fucked. And that's the problem, right? So that's the problem. Cool. Here's my thesis on the solution. Your mind is just like Troy, just like the castle of Troy. And you, the observer, you're the king. You need to keep Troy safe. You need to keep the people safe. What are you going to do about it? Troy should be resilient and impervious to the whims of outside forces attempting to alter your pursuit of health, clarity, stability, and freedom. That's what you need in your kingdom. While your primary resource, time, has been compromised by the Trojan horse supplied by our technocratic overlords, the Greeks. It's hard to take the action that will fill the potential of your higher self because the observer is so weak, right? So basically all we're going to do is reallocate the minimum percentage we can of our screen time into the least amount of action that we could possibly take using our life accelerator to fast track the key pursuits that will help you rebuild your walls. What am I saying there? We're going to make small changes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. That's all we're going to do. And all these pursuits will be tailored to your personal lifestyle. And we do it this way because if we're serious about reclaiming our most precious asset so it becomes actually our biggest asset, our time. We're not going to do this in a 5-day boot camp. We're not going to go a 5-week course. It doesn't even have to be a 5-month program where I change your life. Let's take 5 motherfucking years. Let's take 5 years, make time our ally, and start small to guarantee the win, right? Start small, guarantee the win. Have you got 5 years to achieve everything you've ever wanted? If you don't, get off this video. It's not the right place for you. So when you think about your mind as those 4 walls, the mind is the castle of Troy with 4 walls: physical health, mental clarity, emotional stability, financial freedom, in that order. It is very hard to have each thing on that list if you don't have the thing that it rests upon. If you're not physically healthy, it's hard to be mentally clear. If you're not mentally clear, it's hard to be emotionally stable. If you're not physically healthy, mentally clear, and emotionally stable, it's hard to achieve financial freedom. Right? But when those walls go up, you're in a position to defend the outside forces attempting to deter you from your higher self's vision of your truest potential. And look, I'm a realist. I'm actually a little bit on the spectrum, but autism, right? And it forces me to see the world the way it is. I don't think I'm going to be able to save the world with this. I think even if I could, they'd cancel, lock me up or kill me before I could get any real momentum. But what I'm pretty sure I can do is help a few hundred men live better lives based on the path I've traveled over the last 13 years where I've been mercilessly fighting my lower self to get it to yield, right? And the things that I've learned and my ability to articulate the things I've learned and turn them into a system and then keep you motivated on that system. And I think that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah. So look, the business model for Troy is simple. For $10 a month to $100 a month, depending on when you joined, you'll be a part of a limited exclusive group of men conquering themselves so they can conquer the world for the people they love. Conquer yourself, conquer the world for the people you love, right? And you're going to receive a mentor or a bunch of mentors, a buddy, and a system. You're going to contribute a buddy, consistent sleep, and strenuous exercise. That's all I need from you and will change your life. Yeah. So I'll leave you with this confronting articulation of the limited time you have available to live the life you want to live. I'm not sure where this concept's from. It's not mine. I don't know. I know who the originator was, but I'd love to credit them with the thought. And look, this is why it's so important to me. This is why Troy is so important to me. I'm building the suite of digital and physical products ultimately for myself. I am the most difficult addiction I've ever had, and I've been on opiates and alcohol and all sorts of shit, is YouTube. It's the most difficult addiction I've ever had, and I want to build what would save me, because if it saves me, it'll save anyone. I can't be alone in this, right? So that model, the average age, people live to about 80. You get 168 hours in your week, 54 hours of sleep, maybe less if you're Darren and you're awesome, 40 hours of work, 14 hours of admin. So you got like allocatable time, free time, 58 hours a week, let's say. 20 hours of screen time is 35% of your allocable, your livable life. This is such a small window to bring forth the life of your dreams. It'll feel like, and it'll always feel like there's tomorrow or next week until there's not. And that's when the deep regret will set in. You're going to look back on your life in decades to come and go, holy fucking shit, that is not how I should have allocated my most precious resource, my time, every single week. I cannot believe I allowed those technocrats to rob me of my potential. Yeah? It can't be me that just feels this. So look, next step, apply for the community. It's $10 a month at the moment as of the filming of this video. And remember, it's easier to lie to someone than to convince them they've been lied to. Let that sit for a second. Yeah. Couple of questions. Why do some people pay $10 and I have to pay $100? Because when that person joined the community, he could only leverage the combined energetic momentum of 10 or 20 people. If you're leveraging 100, that's valuable. And if you don't understand the value of that energetic momentum, you're not a right fit for the community anyway, so you can take off. How many men will be in the community, in the company? 300. Why 300? You know why. It's pretty cool. And then whatever other questions you've got, blah, blah, blah. Look, questions are inefficient at this stage. Join the group. It's $10 to $100. We'll give you the system, and it will become obvious one way or the other whether it's a good fit for you. I'll see you on the other side.